just like we do when we
good health, good
had I started this 40 years ago when I was 23.
Any 23-year-olds in the house, raise your hand. Come on, 25, 27, 20. I got. All right. So yeah, ah, thank you so much.
We have to.
You didn't have to bring that up.
Maybe that's how old he was when he taught you, but not right now.
Close.
But you're exactly right. If we are given this information as a child, if we're given this information as a young adult,
Accumulate.
Credit because I don't. Yeah. The problem, quite frankly, that are
So yeah. Wait and hold off and say this is an adult issue. Yes, it is, but you have to build those fundamental concepts from an early age. It has to be, to build a generational wealth, that has to be just as important, just as tall, just as much as a life lesson as it would anything else that you want them to carry through the rest of their life.
Yeah. You have a microphone, right? It's just for the people that's online. I know we can hear each other in here.
I think to that point as well, because we having this conversation in Greenville with a group of friends at a networking event, And I feel like we also have to really want that for ourselves and for our families. Because a lot of times, I think we go through cycles of buzzwords. I think generational wealth is like one of those buzzwords right now. Like everybody's throwing it out there because it sounds cool. Like, oh, let's do this wealth building this or this lunch and learn or networking event or whatever. But when it actually comes that are either moving us one step closer to that generational wealth or placing one extra barrier between us, when we still intentionally choose the stuff that we know made that decision in our mind. So I think the first step to really starting to go and build generational wealth is to really have that genuine desire, because a lot of times we say it, but when it comes to the discipline of denying ourselves right now and our desires right now and having to forfeit my instant gratification for delayed satisfaction, it's like we say out of one side of our mouth we want this generational wealth, but then our behaviors say it's really not that important because I'm still going to do whatever.
Buy those shoes.
And not that I'm against the shoes or the trips or any of that stuff, but we have to get to a point, I think we've said this once before, where we are more concerned about leaving a legacy than we are living a certain lifestyle. And I have to understand that my kids, I have to make sacrifices today because, like you said, I mean, we grew up very same. Like I realized probably a year and a half ago that I still had a severe poverty mindset, even though I was making more than I ever made and doing more. It was like horrible because I go into self-sabotage mode because of the poverty and even looking at money as a bad thing because of how we grew up. And so I have to realize that the decisions that I'm making today are for my children and my children's children. And if I never experience the type of financial freedom and liberation that they're going to, I'm okay with that.
And I like what you said. I like what Summer was speaking to the point of, because you talked a lot about your children. I don't want people to get it mixed up or twisted to think that if I don't have children, that generational wealth is not important. Because I'm looking at the vast majority of you in the room, you don't. It's about half and half of you that do have children and don't have children. And some of you have grandchildren. But if you don't have children, generational wealth is still something that is extremely important. Sorry.
You know, I'm totally distracted.
I know you're distracted by it because you're such a, I know, I get it.
I'll speak from a slightly different perspective. One of the major challenges that I had was being a second generation entrepreneur. And so, if you know anything about entrepreneurship, in a lot of cases, when businesses are started, they generally stop and fail at the second generation because generation 2 typically does not do the same things that it took generation 1 to get to that point.
That's right.
And so the major concern is, okay, how do you make sure that you don't fail in this generation? And it has to do with setting up infrastructure. And that's been a dirty word in our community because we've not traditionally had a lot of stuff. So setting up the infrastructure is absolutely crucial. I had the benefit of having parents that are entrepreneurs. And so whether it was the staffing industry, real estate, or any other businesses that I saw growing up, it was always a lesson in everything that we did. And so even now, when it comes down to training our kids, we try to figure out life lessons that they can get at 4, 5, 6, and 7 that they can take to their schools and share with their friends. Because believe it or not, there's so much more influence at that level, that early level, than we give them credit for. They ask certain questions that make you really, really think. Like, why don't we have this? Or why don't we have that? And it's a perfect opportunity to talk about sacrifice and saying, okay, we can have this, but we can't have it today. You know, if we do X, Y, and Z, we can have it later. You know, and so get to the point where we have real conversations, making sure that we don't instill a poverty mindset in our kids is huge to me. And so when it comes down to things that we pass down, it's going to be more than money. You pass down faith. You pass down how you make decisions. You pass down a lot of different things that are intangible. And so what we have to make sure that we do, and the reason we host things like this, is to make sure that we change the conversation. Because right now, if we look at our expenditures just in South Carolina, as we talked about on one of the previous slides, shoes are a major part of what we spend money on. Out of this $33 billion we spent in 2016 as people in South Carolina, shoes was the number 3 expenditure. Shoes. Something you're not even going to be able to wear sometime next year. You know, so if we think about that being a third of that expenditure column, that wealth could have been invested with money managers. It could have been invested in entire neighborhoods in terms of renovating them, making sure that our people and people who want to do something have the opportunity to do something and see something. That's where we are now. And so when it comes down to, because right now, we're the most educated that we've ever been. Everybody got degrees. If you don't have a degree, you're working on a degree, you're thinking about it.
And we paying for them. We definitely paying for them.
Yeah,
people
so
are paying for the degree.
It's a situation where because we have so much focus on things that don't teach us how to actually do something, we got to get to the point where we change the narrative. Okay? Education is not a problem. I have no problem with education because we have multiple degrees. The reality is, what can you do? What can you build? Those are the things that's going to sustain you, and those are the things that we'll be able to pass through the generations.
How many of you have a side hustle? No disrespect to the terminology, side hustle. Yeah. You multiple streams of income, another stream of income other than your primary stream. You see, and I when you talk about instilling generational wealth and instilling certain things in your children, one of the things, the mind to work is something that's very important. The ability to work, and you, whether it's your nieces, your nephews, your grandchildren, that they have a strong work ethic. They have to see that. They have to know that things aren't just given to us, because I think we're growing up thinking that this stuff just magically appears. Some things magically appear, and I don't have to work. I don't have to work for anything. We don't really know how we get certain things. And so I think it's very important when we think about the next generation, we have to make sure that they have that mindset to work. I had entrepreneurship around me growing up. I didn't know the word entrepreneurship, but my grandfather was an entrepreneur. My grandfather had multiple streams of income, but in my small town growing up, I mean, he would just go out and cut down the trees and do those. I'm like, wait, now who had to have a tree cut down recently? Getting trees cut down is like a whole lot of money. I need some trees cut down right now.
Yes, Lord.
It's a lot of money, and I didn't think about. He was a school bus driver. He was cutting trees. He was also the guy on the side of the road for the town, cutting the grass for the town. But all of those were 3 different streams of income. Didn't look at it that way then. It's just small rural Georgia town. Was first to get all these different things. I just but that was his contribution to his family, his level of entrepreneurship. So for me, at the age of 16, I knew I needed money because I wanted to go on my senior trip. And there was no money in the house. So I started baking cakes. I baked them from scratch. Now, you laughing, but these were the best cakes. They were the bomb. Now I look at people who sell all these cakes. Y'all pay $5 for a cupcake. Yep, sure do. Yes, you do. $3, $4, $5 for a cupcake. You said 7. Oh, wow. But I learned how to do that, and I was able to pay for my senior pictures. I was able to pay for my senior prom, and I was able to pay for my senior trip. Now, I've learned that business didn't work that way because I was using my grandmother's eggs, my grandmother's flour, my grandmother's sugar. Like, I didn't have to go out. I didn't have any expenses. I had straight profit. Like, but before I started my company, and even now as being in business, contracts come and contracts go, fundings come and funding go, I'm like, I know how to survive. Like, I know how to survive. I think it's something that's innate, that's just inside of me, that I will go out legally. Like, I know what I can do, and I will make money. And I think it's that kind of thing that you instill in a young person to help them say, you know, I don't care if you just lost 5 jobs. Go out there and wash cars. Go out there and sell cakes. Drive for Uber. Drive for Lyft. Do meal prep. Do whatever it is you need to do. I like making, I can't even advertise all the stuff that I do, but I like doing it for my family. I save money because I like making my own body lotions and body butters and soaps and hand scrubs and all this kind of stuff. But trust me, if things got bad enough, okay, let me put this out here and let me sell this. Let me do whatever. But these are, I think that goes back to that mindset. You got to have that mindset to be able to keep this thing going, to keep it going. A couple of more questions too, because I'm looking at our time. Wow, this time is like chugging along. We want to make sure we get in all your questions.
One thing, when it comes down to generational wealth, since it's to the point where we learn as much as we can about what it takes to invest our money. Now, you know, real estate was my choice, you know, and it's been very good. It's being very good. But there are so many other ways. I mean, there's insurance, there's money market. I mean, there's a lot of ways to invest money. And when I'm talking to people now, what I'm finding is nobody's investing in anything. You know, we're so pressed to hold on to whatever it is we have. And that goes back to our priorities. We got to stop creating so many bills. We have a lot of bills. There's a lot of envelopes that come to the house. And so we got to stop creating so many bills, so many accounts. You know, because it's easy to say, you know, why we do it. You know, we can create them for our kids. We can create them for our parents, our uncles, our aunts, our cousins. Everybody has a need, right? And so the first thing we have to realize is that we're not called to solve everybody's problem. You're not called to solve everybody's problem. And see, that's going to cause an issue. Let's be clear. When you stop solving everybody's problem, it's going to become an issue.
But you'll see an increase in your bank account when you stop being there.
You will. And it's one of those situations, I guess, because I see it so much, especially on the real estate side. When you rent or buy anything, they get all into your finances, right? So I'm looking at applications. I know, and I'm pulling credit reports. So I'm looking at applications and credit reports, and I'm seeing where money goes. It's going to all these people, other than the people that are trying to rent the property. Amen. Right? And so what happens is I either have to make a conscious decision to turn these people down politely and say, you don't have the money to rent this place. And they'll say, yes, I do. I made X amount of dollars, blah, 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 blah. I say, yeah, but this is where it's going. 40% of your money is going out before you even get it. I don't feel comfortable renting to you. And when it comes to buying property, when it comes to buying that first home, they're looking at those things. When people are not being turned down haphazardly, it's because we're creating too many bills. And so it's tough because it forces you to reprioritize. And if we're looking at building wealth, and listen, I guess we should define what that really means. Building wealth really has to do with making sure that you have something to pass to the next generation and that you have options. Okay? People without wealth don't have options. People with wealth have options.
Ouch. Sorry, don't do that at church. You can't say amen. We say ouch. Sorry, that just kind of came out. Sorry, I'm not in church, right? Okay.
Okay.
I'm coming from an educational background, right? My first job out of college was teaching. Got one of my former students in here now. Don't say anything.
Like they can figure it out.
So it's one of those situations. I made $513.26 every 2 weeks.
I thought it was 600.
No, it wasn't.
I've heard this story so many times.
$513.26 is what it was every 2 weeks. Now I played for 3 churches, so I tried to make up some difference. But from the school that I taught at, that's what I was getting. Now, that was a first-year teacher. This was 1997. And so if I look at what it is I do now, did you really?
No.
Yeesh.
You went right there. Anyway, this is the thing. It will be very difficult for me to have the real estate career that I have based on what it is I was making as a teacher at that time. Okay, so I say that to say this. If you're in a job where you don't feel like you make enough money to invest, find a partner.
Amen.
Okay? Find a partner. You either have the expertise or you have the money or the credit. It's one of the three. So whatever you don't have, find somebody who has what you need and make them a friend. And if you don't trust them, get a lawyer involved. Because what's worth having is worth writing down.
I know the question was asked, what can be done to turn this around? I taught high school, and in my classes, we talked about financial literacy, we talked about a lot of different things, and I've had several students come back talking about, they didn't teach that in high school, they didn't teach that in high school. I'm like, you sat in my class. You did a project about it. But one thing is that a lot of times what the information we're giving our kids is not relevant to them when we're giving it to them. And so I don't know how we're going to make that better other than home. I guess the rest of it's going to have to come from home. But I would watch my students, not my kids, I would watch my students come in the classroom with these cell phones. And this was like in 2006, $90 a month for a cell phone bill because you got data and all that kind of stuff, and that's what they cost. You got an iPhone, but you live in the projects. Your mama on Section 8, and I'm not putting anybody down. If you need help, take the help. But if you got enough money to pay $90 on a phone bill, and they used to tell me, because I still had a flip phone then, they used to be like, Miss Butler, I'm like, when I finally got a newer phone, what you doing with that phone? I have a job and can afford this phone, but it's our priorities. They're not. This generation, that generation, we've given them this mindset that they got to have everything they want right now. They don't know how to wait anything. They don't know how to work for anything because basically everything is given to them. My children, as teenagers, when they started working, my kids knew you're gonna pay your tithes, you're gonna save. And even though you really don't have any other bills, you're not spending everything you make because at no time in your life will you ever be able to just spend all your money the way you want to. There's always going to be somebody you owe. Okay? My son was 25 years old when he bought his first house. My daughter was 23 years old when she bought her first house 6 months out of Clemson. You went to Clemson. You work for UPS, let them tell you you're not qualified. She didn't think she was going to get it, but she got it. But I'm saying, but it was the priorities. My son wanted 900 pairs of Nikes until he had to pay for them. Exactly. Then he realized, no, I only need 1 or 2 pairs. But they were fiscally responsible, and we sat down. We had conversations about money, and I didn't know all that I know now. But I knew enough to be able to put them in a position where they would be okay once they got out of my house. I told them, if you do what I'm telling you to do, you'll be fine. Because how you manage money is a direct reflection on the kind of life you're going to be able to live. And if your credit is good, you're good. When you mess up your credit at 17 because you don't want to pay the bill, and so now that phone company done sent it to your credit report, so now when you get to where you need to be and you really need credit, you done ruined it or your mama done ruined it for you. That's right. But it's about conversations. It's about the education. It's about sitting down and talking about what is it you want to do. And the last thing I'm going to say is that we keep saying we've never seen this. We have seen this. Rosewood, Black Wall Street. We know how to do this.
Oh, yeah.
We know how to do this. We gotta stop acting like this has never been done before. We can do it, but we're gonna have to trust us. We're gonna have to trust us to get it done.
Thank you. Yes. You got it. Yeah, okay. We got 3 more questions? Okay. I want to make sure we get through
a family business that you clearly created for your family? You clearly.
Wait. You want to convince your family. You clearly created this for your family.
Right.
And you want to convince your family to participate.
Correct.
Mr. Wilson.
This is okay, Mr. Real Estate. This is the thing. You can't convince anybody to see what you see.
Come on.
I wish we could, but the reality is sometimes you just have to go out, step out on faith, and do what it is you know to do, and then come back with results.
Amen.
Everybody doesn't have your faith level. Okay? God's given us all a measure of faith. That measure of faith is in different areas. So as a result, it's okay if they don't see what you see right now. Okay? It might be a situation where God is just charging you to start something. And anytime you start anything, there are major challenges. Nobody will believe you. Nobody will think you're credible enough. You won't have the support. That's okay. That comes with the territory. We've been studying about Noah, and one of the things that blows my mind about Noah is the fact that God called him to do this ark. And he has no template for it. He has no way to test it. Never seen a flood. When you start what you never seen rain. When you get ready to start anything, especially in real estate, there's no way to test whether or not your house is going to sell in 30 days. You have comps, but it's not necessarily. I know you want $1,000 a month for rent, but it might be a $900 neighborhood, an $800 neighborhood. You don't get to determine that. Okay, so there are a lot of unknowns that you have to be comfortable with. When it's the area of real estate, you almost get used to being uncomfortable.
Can I say something?
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Okay.
You in real estate, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's why it's important to have a diversified portfolio. I love, obviously, because I've seen the benefit, seeing the results and know that it works. So I would say to that person, if real estate is what you want to do, is your vehicle, then stick with it. And don't let the lack of family support deter you. Find some other real estate investors and some like-minded people and spend more time talking to them and reading up and learning more about the market. But sometimes you have to go. The spiritual says, I'll go if I have to go by myself. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. So sometimes you have to go by yourself.
Yes, there too. What are the benefits of power of attorney, living wills, and stocks?
Oh, that's over my head.
Would you like to answer that question? You don't have to.
Sure. This is not financial advice.
Oh, thank you for saying that, Paul.
None of this is.
Throwing our disclaimers. Okay, thank you.
I am not an attorney as well, so please consult your own attorney. But I think the clearest benefit to power of attorneys, wills, those type of things is that you're getting a say in how your assets are handled once you, in the event that you die, in the event that you're in a situation where you have health issues that prevent you from making certain health and financial decisions. You're making those decisions now while you're in a sound mind, sound state, so that nobody else is making decisions for you on your behalf. So a lot of times people think, oh, well, I'm not married, I don't have any kids, I don't need a will, I don't need a power of attorney, I don't need health care. You need all of those things. If something were to happen to you, I had this happen earlier this year. I had a client whose fiance wasn't a client of mine, but he was in the hospital, and she'd been tipped off that, hey, I think he had an accident, I think he's in the hospital. None of the hospitals would tell her if he was there or not, because she didn't have a power of attorney. Even something as simple as, on the healthcare side, having a HIPAA form filled out for family members or somebody close to you. He passed away in the hospital by himself with nobody knowing what was going on until after the fact,
Yeah, that's
after he passed away. And that's just one example where having those healthcare derivatives in place, having those things in place would have been very beneficial. As far as the benefits of stocks, it's very similar to real estate. Very similar to what Sharinja did baking the cakes when she pimped all the grandma's ingredients. We want to be able to, stocks give you ownership into a company that you can't necessarily go out and buy on your own. So every stock that you own a piece of that company. And what that ownership does is it entitles you to the same benefits that the owners who started the company hold. If they have a good quarter, your value increases. If it's a company like Apple and a couple of others who pay out dividends, you'll get dividends. If they're making money, you're making money. The risk with that is you're an owner in this company. If the company loses money, you lose money. If the company filed bankruptcy, like the first stock I ever invested in, then you lose money. So so those are the risks that are involved with that. But the benefits are, I get to earn money. I get to have the benefits of the ownership of this company without having all the startup capital of a company. And what I tell people all the time is sometimes your investing can be incremental. So you may not have the $100,000 to go out and buy a house, but you got $5,000 that you want to put in the market that can be growing and being useful to help move you towards the pursuit of that. And so that's that. While I have the mic, I want to say this quickly. Marcus mentioned it, but define what generational wealth means for you. Like, really define it. Like, don't put an abstract, story behind it, but give it a number. There's a couple of numbers, and I wrote these down. Forbes magazine was talking about this idea months ago, and NBC Money or whatever, one of those shared those numbers. What's considered true wealth for Gen Zers is 1.49 million of assets. For millennials, it's having 1.94 million of assets. Generation X is 2.5 million of assets, and for baby boomers, 2.63 million of assets. That's been defined by somebody else. Okay? Right. So we can use that as a baseline if we want to, but whatever you do, set your targets and define it. Don't just say, I want to create generational wealth. This is what I want to have, and this is what I want to leave to the next generation, or like someone was talking about, even if you don't have kids, this is the wealth that I want to create, and here's how I want to see it dispersed and carried on and leave a legacy.
We got to define it. Define our savings, define our wealth patterns. We definitely have to do that. Last question that we have.
And then Summer has another question.
Okay, great. Okay, all right. Let me just say this before you ask a question. I have to say thank you to the online audience. Don't check out yet, but thank you. I have to make sure I continue to engage those of you who are online. So thank you for tuning in. We do see you. I can acknowledge you. I see you now. So thank you for tuning in. I apologize to my online audience because I usually type in my own credentials and I tag like 50 of y'all every time. And I did not do that. Not literally 50, but I didn't do that tonight because we were so fast and doing that. It's about 50. So I do apologize, online audience. Those of you who may have to watch this in the replay because you rely on me tagging you every time we do this setup. So I apologize for that.